Tonight, the streets of Harlem are on fire, the websites are crashing, and the cameras flare because the ride door story of Jim Jones and Chrissy Limpman, the love story we believed we knew, has been torn apart. 20 years of devotion, selflessness, and humiliation in public suddenly exploded into the decade's largest reality TV controversy. A single whisper started it all. "Some endings are louder than beginnings," Chrissy wrote in a mysterious Instagram post. The crowd froze. Was it finished? After decades of yearning for a ring, had she finally left? In a matter of minutes, rumors circulated on blogs that Jim had secretly married model Brooke Bailey. You heard correctly, an additional woman. Marriage certificate screenshots surfaced online. Insider whispers of a Vegas wedding and hazy pictures of Jim and Brooke went viral. The following day, however, an unknown Twitter account posted a shocking image of a newborn wrapped in a hospital blanket with the remark, "Congrats, Chrissy. The baby is beautiful." Fans jumped into cardiac arrest. Chrissy, age 53. The dirtiest deception in the history of celebrities, or a miracle? In an attempt to unravel the truth, the internet shattered itself. Was it Chrissy, now a mother? Did Jim quietly remarry after cheating? Then, as though predetermined by fate, Ciara appeared live on stage at an event, her message penetrating the turmoil with a firm voice. "Jim, get married. That female, Chrissy, is deserving of her title." The crowd let out a gasp. The world knew this was more than theater when Jim grinned uneasily. It was war. And what followed was more shocking, louder and darker than anyone could have predicted. When the whispers became yells, the internet almost crashed. Hip-hop and love between Jim Jones and Chrissy Limpman. The most outrageous rumors have been directed at a couple who have been dragging the world through their ups and downs for over 20 years. Chrissy's mysterious Instagram post, which featured the straightforward black and white statement, "Some endings are louder than," Chrissy doesn't post unless there's a message behind it. So fans realized right away that it wasn't random. And this one hit like an earthquake. Inside minutes and timelines full with conjecture. Was it finished? Was Chrissy at last fed up? Then came the bombshell that rocked Hollywood and Harlem. What they said was a leaked marriage license was uploaded on a gossip blog. Only a few weeks ago, Jim Jones and model Brooke Bailey got married in Vegas. The name was smudged and the document was fuzzy. But the caption was blatantly exclusive. Brooke Bailey was secretly married to Jim Jones. Compared to wildfire, screenshots spread more quickly. Hashtags like #GMXexposed and #ChrissyDeservesBetter became viral on Twitter. However, that was only the start. Fans were shocked when an unknown Twitter account posted a picture hours later, leading them to believe it was a hoax. Chrissy, that red lambkin, a newborn infant in a blanket, a hospital bed, a woman's arm with an ID band. The caption, "Congratulations, Chrissy. The baby is beautiful." Chrissy's name went viral in a matter of seconds. 53 is a baby. Was this thing for real? Supporters argued, yelled, and sobbed. They said it was a fake. Others claimed it clarified everything, including the fact that Chrissy had been concealing her pregnancy from Jim. The cameras and the bloggers. Memes were everywhere. Reaction videos on TikTok received millions of views. It was no longer merely a rumor. There was mayhem. And as soon as the craze hit, another voice broke the hubbub with a fever pitch. Standing on stage at a glamorous public event wearing a tiara, Ciara gave Jim Jones a direct look, grinned, and said the words that went viral on the internet. "Jim, get married to her. Chrissy is deserving of her title." The audience let out a gasp. Jim's face, his apprehensive smile, and his uneasy shift in his seat, all captured on camera. The video went viral right away. The comments were inundated by fans. What we've all been thinking was expressed by Ciara. Take Ciara to the gym to check out. Chrissy became a hero in this story, even thanks to her quiet supporters. The lady who was worthy of more, confirmed at last by one of the most renowned musicians. However, the tale did not conclude with cheers. An unidentified backstage footage was revealed a few hours later. In the grainy, shaky video, Jim was seen pacing the floor with his phone in hand and shouting angrily, "Why she had to say that now? Why she had to put me on the spot?" Chrissy arrived a moment later, into the picture. It takes Ciara for you to listen, because even though her voice cracked, what she was saying was obvious. Jimmy, 20 years. 20 years. For crying out loud. The video cut off suddenly, although the rest was unnecessary for fans. By daybreak, the explosion was already a nuclear dot. #put IG on it Jim and #MaraCrei were trending all over the world. The chorus was joined by celebrities. Cardi B shared an image of a crown. Even Wendy Williams revived a footage from her previous show, grinning, adding, "A queen. Don't wait 2 decades for a crown." Period. Remy Ma tweeted. It had been years since she had called. Then, however, the darker receipts showed up. Instagram users shared screenshots of purported text exchanges between Jim and Brooke Bailey. Jim allegedly scribbled, "Vegas was just us." In them, fans were infuriated by another statement that said, "Chrissy will never leave. She too invested. Nobody knew until I said so." A few claimed that the texts were manipulated in order to defend Jim. Others said that Chrissy had squandered 20 years on a man who had no intention of rewarding her. To make matters worse, a voicemail appeared, low quality and distorted, but it was clearly Jim's voice. "Chrissy is unable to learn. Not quite yet. I'll take care of her." Like wildfire, the video went viral. Chrissy's visage was displayed in meme. Chrissy herself added petrol to the fire, while captions said, "Sis deserves better and free Chrissy 2024. Funny how the truth always finds its way out. She wrote on social media without specifically addressing anything. The internet went crazy. Was she verifying the gossip? Was she exposing Jim in this way? Every word and punctuation mark was examined by fans. A burner account released what they dubbed the Vegas tape, just when it seemed like the internet could take no more. Video from a hotel chapel. Blurry. A man wearing a low hat. A white-dressed woman. The officer's voice was loud. "Are you interested in this woman?" Prior to the clip becoming black, the internet collapsed. Was Jim present? Are you married? Was he now legally married to Brooke Bailey? Or had it all been a complex hoax? TMZ entered the debate by publishing their own exclusive. Allegedly, hospital employees verified Chrissy was admitted due to postpartum depression difficulties. Every blog shared a secret medical record that had Chrissy's names marked in red. Supporters let up a yell. The number of theories increased. Chrissy was accused by some of using a surrogate, Jim's baby with someone else. According to others, there was no stopping the excitement. Then the most eerie leak yet appeared. 2A.M.M. The Voices, a 7-minute audio track, was uploaded by an anonymous account. Jim and Chrissy arguing angrily. Chrissy is crying, "I gave my youth to you. Jimmy, my finest years. You give rings to someone else now." Jim spoke sharply. "Do you think this is how I wanted it?" Chrissy, "You don't know half the story. Not even half." The sound of a baby wailing then fades into the background. The fans stopped. Play again and again. Edits were slowed down by analysis videos. There was no mistaking the cry. Twitter exploded. "Whose infant is that?" The internet was overrun with memes. The world heard the cries. According to Chrissy's solicitors, it demonstrated that Jim had a secret kid. Chrissy remained mute until she did a single quote, despite Jim's defenders claiming it was modified. Her voice was trembling as she went live on Instagram. Barefaced, "I lingered too long. I allowed the world to make fun of me because I had too much faith. However, it is no longer the case. My purpose is not to prove myself to no one. The facts will speak for themselves." The live stream was terminated by her. Suddenly, the comments were inundated by millions of viewers, pleading for more. Fans erupted when Ciara shared the video with the words, "Stand tall, Queen." Chrissy was declared the winner by the internet. Jim wasn't finished though. He shared a freestyle from the studio a few hours later. Defiant and fiery, "You just see a little of my life, yet you all believe you know it. 20 years. My wife, however, doesn't think the buzz is real." His remarks provoked further discussion. Was he avoiding the truth, or was he standing up for Chrissy? The last grenade then fell into the timeline. Online leaks of a purported legal letter from Brooke Bailey's attorney threatened to disclose certified records of a legitimate union. Unless Jim delivered a 6-figure compensation, the dated and stamped documents were sent throughout all blogs. If it was real, it meant that all of the fans' fears were justified. Was real, indicating that all of the fans' fears were justified. Once more, the internet exploded. Had Jim cheated on Chrissy by getting married in secret? Was that baby in the shadows for real? And above all, was Brooke Bailey going to blow out the whole empire? Real? And above all, was Brooke Bailey going to blow out the whole empire? There was only one question left for viewers after the cruel cliffhanger. What follows? No one anticipated the explosion that was the leaked legal letter. And the internet went into full-fledged civil war once it landed. Using screenshots of the dated and stamped paperwork purportedly from Brooke Bailey's legal team, the team threatened to withhold certified legal union documentation until within 48 hours. Jim sent a 6-figure settlement. The blogosphere collapsed. Was Brooke attempting to coerce Jim into acknowledging the marriage, or was she only blackmailing him? Admirers instantly divided into factions. Reddit conspiracy threads claimed that the documents were faked to undermine Jim's reputation. while hashtag Team Chrissy trended alongside hashtag Jim married Brooke. However, the plot took a darker turn. According to a voicemail that was released, Brooke herself conversing with a friend. Brooke murmured to me in the scratchy voice that I was the one. Chrissy, he claimed, was simply ordinary and at ease. After Carrera embarrassed him, he remarked, he understood that he needed to formally commit to me. He wants to back off now. No, I have evidence. Within minutes, the audio message went viral, sparking a flurry of opinion pieces. Concerns the eroding illusion of ride, door love, loyalty, and treachery. Chrissy, meantime, was oddly silent. Her Instagram comments were flooded with thousands of crown emojis and remarks like "sis, walk away. We got you," as fans pleaded for her to speak. However, sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Furthermore, Chrissy's silence just made the situation worse. At that point, a shaky FaceTime recording from an unnamed key TikTok account delivered the heaviest blow to date. It featured Jim lying in bed without a shirt on, grinning at the camera while Brooke Bailey's image could be seen in the mirror behind him. The internet's caption cried out, "The truth don't lie." Seized every frame was examined by TikTok users, who circled Brooke's unique tattoos in red after zooming in on them. 20 INOT breakdowns analyzing the video were uploaded by YouTube receipt channels. Twitter memes caused timelines to collapse. With clown makeup, Chrissy, Jim marries himself in Vegas while wearing a pastor's robe. With the caption, "Meet our daughter," Brooke posted a photo of herself holding a newborn. Although the memes were humorous, the underlying meanings were grave. Jim was not merely playing games if the FaceTime was genuine. He was leading to separate lives. Then arrived one more twist. The burner account that had released the Vegas tape issued a mysterious message at precisely midnight. "You'll hear it from him tonight." A 3-minute audio recording surfaced on the internet a few minutes later. Jim's voice was unpolished and annoyed. "What I cope with is unknown to them. Chrissy is unsure, Brooke is unsure. No one is aware. I took the necessary action." Take action. Yes, I made mistakes, but don't let anyone doubt my commitment. Don't anyone doubt my affection. Heavy breathing, a slammed door, and what sounded like glass were heard as the recording came to a close. Breaking in the distance, there was a flurry of theories. Was Jim confessing to wrongdoing? Was it an out-of-context old clip? Or had his phone compromised and dropped, entering his domain like a live bomb? Chrissy eventually broke her silence in the most terrifying way imaginable. As if on cue, she shared a single image of herself on Instagram, carrying a black leather binder full of receipts, papers, and pictures. Fans collectively went crazy over the caption, "Truth always comes in threes. Don't play with me." The comment section became a battlefield. Drop the sis bowed to pull a Monique Samuels. Binder, Chrissy. For Jim, it's over. In just 1 hour, hashtag CHRISTS binder became a global trend. Jim sought to stay ahead of the storm in the meantime. His voice trembling with anger, his face exhausted, he went live on Instagram. "You people trust anything you see on the internet. That is the issue facing the modern world. Not no one was given the whole story. Doesn't anyone ask me anything? All you want is to see me go down hard. I'm not down though. I'm doing fine. Chrissy and I are solid." Thousands of users flooded the comments section with Brooke and laughing emojis before he abruptly halted the live stream. The damage was done in all caps. No one took it seriously. Then the worst leak of all occurred. A video purportedly taken by one of Brooke's close friends showed her clutching a newborn. "This isn't about clout," she said, staring directly at the camera. "He's the father, and he knows it. Chrissy should know. This isn't about money. It's about respect. Everyone to know." After kissing the baby's forehead and cutting the video, the internet went crazy. Was Brooke's baby's father Jim Jones? Was this the cause of the Vegas wedding rumors? Celebrities jumped on Funflex, went on air blasting, and blogs shared side-by-side pictures of Jim as a baby and Brooke's newborn. Threads claimed the baby had the Jones nose. 50 Cent shared an image of Jim juggling 3 wedding rings with the caption, "Pick one, champ." In response to Jim playing with Chrissy's heart, Love and hip-hop co-stars also had something to say. "There is no loyalty in these streets." By morning, the situation had gotten out of hand after Yandhi liked a dubious tweet about wasting women's time, and Camilla tweeted a mysterious story. The title read, "Chrissy, the People's Queen, and Fan." Pages organized online petitions calling for VH1 to grant Chrissy her own spin-off, free from Jim the clown of the people. Then the unimaginable occurred. Screenshots purportedly taken from Jim's email account were shared by an unidentified hacker collective, with the subject line of one email reading, "Views marriage agreement confidential." Fans weren't sure if they should believe the child support payments that were discussed in another post with Brooke's name in the notes. But the receipts were too comprehensive and specific to dismiss. Real-time remarks from Jim as Empire collapsed. Music sponsors discreetly canceled cooperation. And there were rumors that VH1 execs were having emergency meetings to decide whether to fire Jim completely. The world came around to support Chrissy as the ultimate survivor. The woman who had risen like a phoenix after 2 decades of agony, as her popularity continued to soar from future love and hip-hop seasons. However, the greatest fans shouted when the burner account resurfaced with a final message, saying, "The full video drops Friday. He can't hide anymore." This was the devastating cliffhanger that was yet to come. What proof? What video? Then came the teaser. A 10-second film showing Jim Jones sitting in a dark room and saying into a camera, "I made a choice. I have to live with it now." The internet froze as the video turned to black. What was he doing? The cliffhanger left fans breathless and yearning for answers, and Friday came like a ton of bricks on the internet. Would this video validate every rumor about Vegas, Brooke, and the baby? On the Day of Judgment, Twitter Spaces broadcast live countdowns. The internet stopped, timelines refreshed, and hearts raced as the burner account promised to release Jim Jones's complete confession video. The digital world wasn't just watching, it was salivating. At precisely 9:00 p.m., talkers brewed confession watch parties, and even mainstream outlets like Shadroom and TMZ teased coverage. Jim Jones was sitting by himself in a dimly lit room, his hoodie drawn tight, his eyes red. When the clip dropped, it was 3 minutes of blurry footage that exploded the culture. "I'm not perfect, I've done things that I can't take back. I loved Chrissy, and I still love her. I spoke into the camera in a steady but low voice. Vegas occurred, Brooke happened, and yes, the baby happened, too, but I'm not going to sit here and lie any longer." The stillness that followed May had ingested the world. Millions of people repeatedly watched the video, with each playback adding depth. Jim had acknowledged it. Every whisper, every rumor, every hazy screenshot spoke to the swift and brutal fallout, which saw followers yelling, sobbing, and collapsing onto couches in TikTok reaction videos as #JimConfesses trended in 32 countries in just 1 hour. In real time, blogs created obituaries for Jim's career, and Twitter users proclaimed Chrissy a living legend for weathering decades of betrayal. "I believed I was shielding Chrissy, but the film wasn't finished yet." Jim drew closer to the camera in the last seconds, his voice breaking. The screen went dark, and the internet went down. "I thought I could handle everything, but I lost control. Now that the truth is out, perhaps that was what had to happen." Ballistic. Just a few minutes later, Chrissy finally spoke up, sharing a single Instagram story with the message, "Finally free," and a picture of herself drinking champagne while wearing sunglasses. The entire globe exploded. The hashtag Chrissy1 forever dominated the world's trending charts, and fans showered her with crown emojis, declaring her win assured. However, Brooke Bailey wasn't going to let Chrissy have the final say. She appeared live on Instagram a few hours later, carrying the baby in her arms and declaring, tearful but determined, "He's not just mine, he's ours." Jim was aware of his actions, and I refused to allow anyone to hide the truth. Millions watched live as the baby gurgled audible in the background. Screenshots went viral on all platforms, and the show descended into a media frenzy. Jim was roasted by Charlemagne Thawgod on the donkey of the decade. 50 Cent doubled down with another image featuring Jim juggling 3 strollers with the slogan, "Pick one, champ." My husband made Chrissy wait 20 years only to award the title to a Vegas chapel. Carrera even tweeted cryptically, "Letting go is sometimes necessary for love." Fans saw it as a subliminal message to Chrissy to move on. And VH1 insiders revealed rumors that bosses were in complete panic mode. Emergency meetings reportedly discussed removing Jim from Love and Hip Hop completely out of concern for criticism. But others pushed for the opposite. A spin-off that focused on Chrissy adjusting to life after Jim was fueled by her receipt binder. There were rumors that Netflix was looking for a documentary deal called The Crown, Chrissy vs. Jim. Things took a turn for the worst when an unidentified hacker gang surfaced, returned with receipts directly from Jim's purported iCloud. Hundreds of emails and text messages were posted online, including a terrifying note from Jim to a private acquaintance. "If Chrissy discovers," fans screamed, "whatever it takes, keep Brooke quiet, or I lose everything. Was Jim planning a cover-up all along? Or was the confession video stage damage control rather than real remorse? Chrissy stoked the fires with a cruel post. Her binder was now open, with pages displaying screenshots, bank statements, and grainy images of Jim and Brooke. You don't know me at all if you think this is over. The caption reads, demands for Chrissy to release the entire binder erupted on the internet, and TikTokers promised to Venmo her simply to observe the receipts, while Twitter memes dubbed the binder, the Infinity Stones of Truth. Jim fell silent, leaving fans to speculate that he was hiding. Some said he had left Harlem, and a paparazzi photo of him in an airport, with his head down and hood up, looking broken. Then, as if the world couldn't help but add petrol to the flames, went viral. Chrissy appeared, composed and seemingly relieved as she whispered to a companion, "I wasted years, but I'm done," in an unknown video that surfaced of her having a private chat. "This binder will bury him, even though they believe I'm weak." Observe. Fans gathered behind Chrissy like never before, but the message was clear even though the video ended abruptly. She wasn't just surviving. She was getting ready for war. Celebrities stepped up with Cardi B, and marches appeared in Atlanta and Harlem with posters that read, "Chrissy won and Binder Queen." Online petitions called for VH1 to fire Jim right once and recognize Chrissy as the franchise's legitimate queen. Tweeted, "Chrissy is now free, but it took her 20 years to be that way." The burner account posted one last message at daybreak, but the most terrifying development was that the baby wasn't the last secret. Keep an eye out. The internet went cold. What else may there be? Another marriage, another kid, or a more sinister treachery that was about to blow up? Fans sat quivering, desperate for answers, knowing that the narrative wasn't done, but the cliffhanger was too terrible and too big to handle. If the last 20 years have shown anything, it's that when it comes to Jim and Chrissy, the issue that is rattling the internet is, what is the last secret that the burner account promised, since Jim has already revealed it? The truth is always stranger, messier, and louder than fiction. What could possibly remain after Vegas, Brooke, and the baby were admitted? Is it another secret marriage, another child, or something more sinister that may destroy everything he's worked so hard to achieve? This isn't just celebrity rumors anymore. Every leak, mysterious post, and late night live is a new piece of the puzzle that fans and insiders are working to piece together. If you blink, you'll miss it. This is history being written in real time. Jim is the only one who is mute, and silence may be the loudest. Chrissy, Brooke, and even the hackers are not holding back as they rush to solve the problem. Confession of all. So, you have a choice. Join us now to ensure you don't miss a single bombshell as it drops. Or sit on the sidelines and read bits and pieces from the blogs. If you agree with Chrissy, use the like button. Share your most outrageous hypotheses in the comments section. Who do you think is playing whom? The final secret will rock the culture to its foundation. The next leak could happen at any moment. Therefore, you'll want to be here first. Therefore, above all, hit the subscribe button and enable your notifications. This is the scandal of the decade, and it's hardly an excuse to miss out. Choice.